You know those winter mornings at the airport, when everything feels loud? The rolling suitcases, the coffee machines hissing, the announcements echoing over and over. Gate C-23 now boarding. Yeah, Denver International was exactly like that. Chaotic, packed, people rushing because everyone and their grandma wanted to fly before the Christmas freeze hit Colorado. But then, everything just stopped. It was around 9:14 a.m. Families packed in the security lines. TSA yelling, "Shoes off, laptops out." A baby crying somewhere. Someone arguing over a boarding pass. Everything normal until it wasn't. Because out of nowhere, Thor, Officer Ryan Hale's K-9 partner, lunged. And not just a little tug. No. This was a full, explosive sprint. Claws scraping the tile. Vest straps snapping tight across his ribs. The kind of move that makes grown men panic. "Thor! Thor, heel! Heel!" Ryan shouted. But Thor didn't slow down. Not even a fraction. His barking wasn't even barking anymore. It was a warning siren wearing fur. Deep. Raw. A sound that hits your chest and stays there. People froze. Then they screamed. And the second Thor's paws left the ground, diving toward the center of the line. TSA hit a level 3 alert. That means the bad level. The shut it all down level. Doors locking. Alarms chirping. Radios exploding with noise. Someone yelled, "Evacuate the checkpoint! Move! Move now!" And right there, in the middle of all the chaos, was a little girl. 6 years old. Lily Mercer. A tiny winter jacket that swallowed her whole body. Hair the color of burnt copper curling around her cheeks. Hugging a purple backpack almost too big for her. And then Thor was on her. People thought he was attacking her. Honestly, anyone would have thought that. Lily stumbled backward, sneakers slipping, and she went down hard. Backpack hit the floor, then her elbows, then her tiny frame crumpled beside it. She didn't scream, and that's what broke everyone. Just a sharp inhale, like swallowing fear so fast she was choking on it. Her hands scrambled for the backpack, clutching it like it was the last safe thing in the world. People backed away. Phones dropped. A woman dragged her toddler behind a pillar. Someone screamed, "Is it a bomb? Is she carrying a bomb?" Thor's barks tore through the terminal, urgent, panicked, like he was saying, "Look, something's wrong." Ryan fought the leash, burning his gloves. "Thor, that's enough. Thor, stand down." But Thor wasn't listening. Or maybe he was listening to something else entirely. He shoved past the barrier, dragging Ryan with him, barking directly at Lily's backpack, muzzle inches from the fabric, hackles raised like a mane. Ryan dropped to one knee. "What is it, boy? What the hell do you smell?" Lily curled tighter, trembling. I didn't do anything." Barely a whisper, like she was talking to her fear instead of him. Her breaths short, fractured, fingers white from gripping the straps, eyes far too old for a 6-year-old. TSA closed in. One officer muttered, "Sir, is your dog malfunctioning?" Ryan snapped back a stare. Thor doesn't malfunction. If he's reacting, there's a reason. Silence swallowed the terminal. People not breathing, not blinking, just watching. The little girl, the dog losing his mind, the handler stuck between them, trying to decode something no human could feel yet. Thor barked once, one sharp, gut-punching blast, and the whole airport jumped. Ryan's face went white, because he knew that bark. Not aggression, not warning. The detection bark. The one that meant something in that backpack is going to change everything. For a second, just one tiny second, everything after Thor's detection bark felt like the whole airport forgot how to breathe. And then, Jeong Numot Kun Sung Vo Bo, the chaos came crashing back in. "Step back! Everyone step back now!" A TSA agent yelled, voice cracking. But honestly, people were already backing away. No one wanted to be anywhere near that little girl anymore. And yeah, I know how awful that sounds. But fear does that to people. It makes them treat a 6-year-old like she's holding the end of the world in her hands. The floor around Lily cleared faster than a dropped gun. Suitcases abandoned. Lattes spilled. Someone even left a stroller behind. Everyone stared. Not at Thor now, but at Lily Mercer. Like she was the epicenter of something big, dangerous, impossible to understand. And Lily, God, she just broke. Not loudly, not dramatically. She crumbled the quiet way kids do, when they're too scared to breathe right. Her chin trembled first, then her lips, then her whole face collapsed. I'm sorry," she whispered, words almost dissolving in the air. "I'm sorry. I don't know what I did wrong." And something in the way she said it, like she was apologizing to the world for existing, hit harder than any alarm blaring through the terminal. Sirens, barking, distant crying, all blending into one frantic storm of sound. But Lily's voice cut through it, thin, shaky, full of heartbreaking confusion. "I promise I didn't. I didn't do anything bad." Tears slipped down her cheeks, not dramatic ones, quiet ones. The kind kids cry when they don't want anyone to see. Her hands clung to her purple backpack, fingers curling so tight her knuckles turned ghost white. She looked like she was trying to make herself smaller, like if she shrank enough, maybe all the eyes, all the shouting, all the barking, maybe it would all go away. Around her, whispers spread. Is she dangerous? Did she bring something? Why would a kid... Oh my God, someone call... Voices stacking like bricks, trapping her in. Thor barked again, and Lily jerked like a gunshot went off beside her. Her breath hitched, tiny panicked gasps. "Stop! Please stop! Please!" she begged, eyes locked on Thor like he was the monster under her bed. "I don't know why he's mad at me." Ryan crouched slightly, softening his voice. Hey, sweetheart. He's not mad at you. Thor's, but the airport intercom thundered over him. Security alert. All passengers please remain behind marked lines. Do not approach the active checkpoint. The announcement echoed like rolling thunder across the ceiling. A baby wailed. A phone clattered across the floor. And Lily cried harder, her little shoulders shaking. Please, I just want to go home. I want to go home with Mommy. The word Mommy cracked something sharp beneath the ribs. Even Ryan felt it. He swallowed, voice low. Lily, listen to me. No one thinks you did something wrong. But she shook her head so fast her curls bounced. That's not true, she hiccuped. Everyone's scared of me. And she was right. People stood a perfect 10-foot circle around her. Adults hiding behind pillars. A man holding his wife back. A teen whispering, Dude, what if that bag blows up? Like he wasn't talking about a child. Lily heard all of it. You could see the words hit her. Every one of them. She folded inward, forehead to her knees, body rocking as panic tore through her. Thor stopped barking for a moment, long enough to release a low, aching whine. Not aggressive, sad, uneasy, like he was watching something he wished he could fix. Ryan placed a shaky hand on Thor's harness. Buddy, please tell me what you're picking up, he muttered. This is a kid. A kid, damn it. But Thor didn't look at him. His eyes stayed locked on Lily, more specifically on the backpack crushed to her chest, muscles trembling like he was seconds away from detonating again. Lily lifted her face, blotchy, tear-streaked, and whispered something that made Ryan's throat dry out. Am I gonna get taken away? Her voice cracked. Are they gonna lock me up? No, Ryan said instantly. No, of course not. But everyone thinks I did something bad. She choked, wiping her nose with her sleeve. Everyone's scared. I don't want to be a bad girl. I don't want to... Her breath snapped short, because she finally noticed how people were staring at her backpack. Like it was alive. Like it was ticking. Like it was the reason Thor was losing his mind. Lily looked down, then held it tighter. Please don't take my backpack. It's all I have right now. Her voice shattered. And honestly, so did everyone watching. Because this wasn't a threat. This was a terrified child, begging the world not to take the one thing she still felt safe with. But Thor's sudden growl made one thing painfully clear. Whatever was in that backpack was about to make everything worse. Because while Lily sat there shaking, clutching that purple backpack like it was the last piece of safety she had left in the world, Thor wasn't calming down, not even close. He was shaking too, but in a completely different way. Ryan tried again, gripping the leash with both hands. Thor, easy! Easy, boy! Stay with me! But Thor didn't stay anything. He pulled so violently that Ryan stumbled forward, boots scraping across the floor. The leather handle carved into Ryan's palm, then sliced deeper, ripping through the top layer of skin. You know that burning sting when you cut yourself on something sharp? Multiply that by 10. Ryan hissed, jaw tight, but he didn't let go. Because Thor wasn't just pulling, he was fighting, like something inside him was saying, "Move, or people die." "Damn it! Thor, stop!" Ryan barked, desperate now. Thor didn't even blink. His whole body trembled. Legs stiff, back arched, hackles sparking up like static electricity. A low rumble vibrated through his chest. Thunder trapped inside fur, rolling through the air so heavily that several passengers flinched backward. Someone whispered, "Jesus, what's wrong with that dog?" Another muttered, "Is he rabid?" Ryan's head snapped toward them, eyes furious. "He is not rabid. Don't say that again." But even he knew something was different. Thor had never behaved like this. Not in 3 years of deployments. Not during explosions. Not during riots. Not even during that fentanyl bust where 3 officers passed out before they could smell the danger. Thor always listened. Thor always followed orders. Thor was the calm in every storm. But now? Thor was the storm. "Buddy." "Hey, look at me," Ryan said, crouching despite the blood dripping from his hand. "Talk to me. Tell me what you smell." Thor flicked his eyes toward Ryan, just for a moment. And the look he gave wasn't animal, wasn't instinct, wasn't fear. It was warning. Like he was saying, "If you don't trust me right now, something terrible is about to happen." Then Thor growled. Not loud, not wild, but a slow, shattered growl that crawled under Ryan's skin. "Thor," Ryan breathed. "What are you trying to tell me?" But Thor wasn't looking at him anymore. His eyes were locked onto Lily's backpack again. Not Lily. Not her face, not her body. Just the backpack. Every muscle in his frame pointed to it. A living compass. He lowered his head, sniffed sharply, then jerked backward, paws skidding across the tile, like the scent itself hit him like a punch. That's when his body went rigid, absolutely rigid. Every hair stood on end. His tail shot straight back, his ears locked forward like arrows. And then, out of nowhere, Thor let out a single sound. Not a bark, not a whine, a howl. Short, broken, shattered. A sound no one there had ever heard from a police dog before. The kind of howl dogs make when they lose someone, or when they smell death. People froze. Even TSA lowered their weapons a little, confused, thrown off, scared in a new way. Ryan felt something cold crawl down his spine. Because that howl? That wasn't an alert. That was a plea. "Thor. Hey. Hey, stay with me." "What is it?" Ryan whispered. Thor didn't answer in any normal way. Instead, he took one step backward, toward Ryan, then looked straight into his handler's eyes. And in that single heartbeat, Ryan understood everything. Thor didn't need words, didn't need commands, didn't need anything human. His eyes said it all. Trust me. If you don't, we won't survive what's coming. And then, just like that, Thor snapped back around and lunged again. So hard the leash tore open another line of blood across Ryan's palm. The crowd flinched. Lily gasped. Ryan swallowed, heart pounding. All right. Okay. I trust you. Just show me what you need me to see. Thor growled again. Deep, urgent, and pressed his body protectively between Lily and everyone else, not attacking her, not threatening her, protecting her. From what? No one knew, not yet. But the truth was sitting inside that purple backpack like a sleeping serpent. And Thor, somehow, had sensed its fangs long before any human ever could. Now here's the crazy part, and I want you to think about this for a second. If you were standing in that airport, watching a 6-year-old sob while a K-9 acted like he had smelled the end of the world, what would you have done? Back away like the crowd? Step in like Ryan? Trust the dog without knowing why? Or something completely different? Tell me your choice. I'm honestly curious. If Thor's warning felt like the floor dropping out from under everyone, then what happened next? Yeah. It was the moment the entire airport realized something was terribly off. Because right when Ryan was trying to steady Thor, and Lily was still curled around that purple backpack, shaking like she might disappear if she let go, someone pushed through the crowd. A woman, late 20s, maybe early 30s. Long dark hair in a neat ponytail, gray coat over travel clothes, perfect makeup, perfect posture, too perfect. She scanned the crowd, once, twice, and then she spotted Lily on the ground. "Oh my God!" she gasped, hand flying to her chest. "Lily, sweetheart, oh my baby, are you hurt?" Her voice had that high-pitched wobble people use when they want to sound emotional. But something about it hit the air wrong. Ryan looked up sharply. "Ma'am, stay back. Do not approach the child." But she didn't listen. She didn't hesitate. She walked straight through the warning line like she owned the place and dropped to her knees beside Lily. And then, God help us, she smiled. Not the relieved mother smile. No, this one was crooked, sharp at the edges, cold in the center, like she had rehearsed it in a mirror and still didn't get it right. "Oh, sweetheart," she breathed, reaching for Lily's arm. "Mommy's here. It's okay now." Lily froze. Not like a child seeing her mom, like a deer catching a scent it knows too well. Thor exploded, a sound so violent and guttural it rattled the glass behind them. "Thor, enough!" Ryan yanked the leash, but Thor wasn't hearing him. His growl traveled through his chest like a warning straight from the Earth's core. But the woman, later identified as Vanessa Crow, didn't pull her hand back. She smiled wider, sharper, almost like she liked the reaction. She placed her hand on Lily's shoulder. Thor lunged harder. Ryan nearly lost his footing again, blood from his torn palm smearing across the leash, but he held on. I said back up, he barked. But Vanessa didn't retreat. She leaned in closer, tucking a strand of Lily's hair behind her ear with a tenderness that matched none of the fear around them. It's okay, she whispered into Lily's ear. Mommy's here now, baby. Don't be scared. But Lily was scared. Her whole body flinched at the touch. Her breath hitched, knees curled tighter. Her hand clamped around that backpack like someone was trying to tear it away. Stop, she whispered. Too soft for the crowd, but not too soft for Thor. Thor snapped, his bark cracking through the terminal like gunfire. And that was when Vanessa made her mistake. She grabbed Lily's forearm. Not hard, not obvious. Just a quick squeeze. The kind of thing parents do under their breath to discipline. But cameras don't miss. A security camera overhead caught it perfectly. Vanessa's fingers biting into Lily's skin for 1 solid second. Lily winced, her face twisting in pain. She tried to hide it. Kids always try. But Thor didn't miss a thing. He lunged, teeth bared, not at Lily, but to put himself between her and the woman touching her. Ryan's heart dropped. Sirens on. We have a possible. He didn't even finish the sentence. TSA agents swarmed. Ma'am, step away from the child. Hands where we can see them, now. Vanessa flinched, but not in fear, in annoyance. Her smile faltered. Just a fraction. Just enough to reveal something colder underneath. I'm her mother, she snapped, standing slowly, palms out. Does it really take this many people to stop a dog? Ryan stepped between her and Lily, breathing hard. No, he said. It takes this many people to stop someone who shouldn't be anywhere near that girl. Vanessa's eyes flickered. Just once, toward the purple backpack still crushed under Lily's chin. Not at Lily, not at Thor. At the backpack. And Ryan knew. This was no mother. Ma'am, he said carefully, I'm gonna need to see ID. She laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, officer, really? We don't have time for this. Would you please move aside so I can take my daughter home? Thor barked so violently, the floor vibrated. Ryan didn't blink. Thor, he murmured, stay on her. Thor planted himself solidly, shoulders locked, chest forward, eyes burning straight through Vanessa. And Vanessa, for the first time, stopped smiling. Just for a heartbeat. Just long enough for every stomach in that terminal to twist. Then she slipped the mask back on. But it was too late. Everyone had seen it. Everyone had felt it. Something was very, very wrong with the woman who claimed to be Lily's mother. And Thor, the dog who never broke rank, was ready to tear the world apart to prove it. If Vanessa's fake smile cracked the air like a fault line, then what happened next? Yeah. That was the moment the whole damn terminal felt like it might split open. Because once TSA forced Vanessa back, hands up, jaw tight, eyes way too calm for someone innocent, Ryan finally turned his attention to the thing Thor had been warning everyone about from the start. The purple backpack. The one Lily still clung to, knuckles white, chest rising and falling way too fast. "Sweetheart," Ryan said gently, crouching down. "I'm gonna need you to set the bag on the ground for a second, okay?" Lily swallowed hard. She didn't nod. She didn't speak. She just stared. Those wet, terrified eyes locked on him like putting that backpack down meant losing something she couldn't afford to lose. Thor let out a shaky whine, nudging toward the bag. Not toward Lily. The dog never acted like that. Never. "Lily," Ryan tried again, softer now. "You're not in trouble. I promise. I just want to make sure you're safe, that's all." She blinked once, twice, then slowly, so slowly, loosened her grip on the straps. Her smartwatch lit up. 186 BPM. Ryan's stomach dropped. "Jesus," he whispered. "She's terrified." Then Lily did it. She placed the backpack on the floor in front of her. The fabric made this tiny, scratchy sound, somehow louder than all the sirens echoing overhead. Thor stiffened. The crowd held its breath. Even Vanessa, now restrained by 2 TSA agents, leaned forward just slightly. "Okay." Ryan exhaled shakily. "We're gonna open this carefully. Nobody touches anything unless I say." A TSA officer handed him an inspection knife. Light, precise, meant for cutting seams without damaging cargo. Ryan took it, his injured palm stinging as he adjusted his grip. "Thor," he murmured. "Easy. Stay close." Thor didn't blink. Lily curled into herself again, knees tight to her chest. "It's okay," Ryan told her softly. "Nothing bad's gonna happen to you." But honestly, he had no idea if that was true. He slid the blade toward the first seam, right along the bottom panel. The fabric was thicker than expected. Security-grade nylon, double-layered. Weird for a kid's backpack. "Why is this so?" he muttered, then cut himself off. "Focus. No assumptions." He pressed the blade. Slice. The ripping sound tore through the room. Loud, ugly, violent. Lily flinched hard. Her heart rate spiked, 190 BPM. Hey, you're okay," Ryan said quickly. "You're okay, I promise." Thor's ears pinned back. And then the dog made a sound no police K9 should ever make. Not a bark, not a growl, not even a whine. A whimper. Soft, broken, like he was begging Ryan to stop. Ryan froze. "Thor, buddy, what is it?" Thor pawed at the floor once, twice, then pressed his forehead into Ryan's arm, like he was saying, "Don't open it. Not yet. Be ready." Ryan's pulse hammered, but he kept cutting. Another slice, another layer peeled back. The inside should have revealed toys, crayons, stickers, kid stuff. But that's not what happened. The final flap came loose. The bag sagged open, and Ryan jerked back like he'd been punched. "What the?" It wasn't explosives. It wasn't liquids. It wasn't weapons. It was worse. Hidden under a false lining, stitched so cleanly even trained TSA eyes would miss it, were rows of metallic strips, thin, smooth, laid out like someone pressed them into formation. Beneath them, another layer. Circuit boards, custom wired, packed tight like the veins of some unnatural heart. Is that a rig? A TSA officer whispered. No, Ryan said slowly, voice hollowing out. It's not a detonator. Then what is it? Ryan didn't answer. He lifted one panel with careful fingers. Beneath it, microchips glinted. Silver, sharp-edged, etched with codes so precise they looked military. Those aren't toys, someone breathed. No, Ryan said. They're not. Lily covered her ears, tears streaming. I didn't put it there. I promise, I promise. She said it was a surprise. Ryan's throat tightened. I know, sweetheart, he said. I know you didn't. Instinct kicked in. Ryan grabbed his radio. Control, this is Officer Hale at Checkpoint B. We have a high-tech embedded smuggling device inside a miner's bag. Repeat. This is not an explosive. It's something engineered. The radio crackled. Is the child a threat? Ryan stared at Lily. Small, shaking, terrified, and anger surged through his chest like heat. No, he snapped. The threat isn't the child. The threat is whoever put this in her bag. Behind him, Vanessa's smile twitched. Barely. Just enough. Thor growled, low, deadly, certain. And that's when everyone realized, whatever this device was, it wasn't meant to blow up a plane. It was meant to do something far more precise and far more devastating. If the sight of the hidden wiring inside Lily's backpack made everyone nervous, then the moment Ryan lifted the final flap, fear stopped being a theory and became something real, something sharp, something that sliced through the air between them. Because underneath the circuits, beneath the false stitching, beneath layers of nylon no 6-year-old should ever touch, there was something no one expected. Rows, dozens of them, thin metallic wafers, silver, smooth, almost pretty if they weren't so horrifying. Each one etched with microcodes so tiny, you had to tilt them under the overhead lights just to see the patterns. TSA gasped. One officer whispered, "That's impossible." Another muttered, "Is that airport network encryption?" Ryan didn't answer at first. He just stared, jaw locked, breathing uneven, because he knew exactly what he was seeing. He'd taken a cyber threats course once, years ago, and even with his limited background, he recognized the format. These weren't toys, not card skimmers, not little trackers. These were access keys. Access to systems that should never, ever leave government protection. Radar, Ryan finally said, voice low. These tie into the FAA radar grid. Someone swore softly. Another officer stepped back like the chips themselves might hiss. Panic rippled, but not chaotic panic. A cold, sick kind of panic that settles low in the gut. Because they weren't dealing with a bomb. They were dealing with a ghost key to the sky. A system that, if hacked, could blind the Denver airport, could mislead pilots, could redirect flights into storms, into mountains, or into each other. The kind of thing terrorists dream about. And someone put it in a child's backpack. Lily didn't understand any of it. She just felt eyes on her again. She curled tighter, socks brushing the cold floor. I didn't put anything bad in there. Her voice trembled. I promise. I didn't know. Ryan turned instantly, lifting a calming hand. Hey, no one thinks you did. Not a single person. But Lily shook her head fast, like she was trying to shake off a nightmare. She told me not to open it, she whispered. She said it was candy, special candy, like magic candy. Ryan's heart twisted. Who told you that, Lily? Her tiny fingers gripped her knees. She swallowed. The lady on the plane. That sentence hit harder than any alarm. Not Vanessa. Not some stranger outside. A woman on the plane. Inside the system already. What lady? Ryan asked, kneeling beside her. Sweetheart, tell me everything you remember. Lily sniffed, nodded shakily. She sat next to me when Mommy went to the bathroom, Lily said softly. She had long black hair. She smelled like flowers. She said I was being good. And she said she had a surprise for me. Ryan exchanged a sharp glance with a TSA agent. This wasn't a kidnapping. This was infiltration. Lily continued, voice cracking. She pulled something shiny out of her bag, and she said, Don't tell Mommy. It's our little secret. She put it in my backpack. I thought it was candy. Her face crumpled. She said if I opened it early, the surprise would break, and she'd be sad. Silence dropped over the whole terminal. Heavy, suffocating. This wasn't petty crime. This wasn't smuggling. This wasn't even kidnapping. This was a predator using a child as a delivery system. A walking, breathing Trojan horse. A 6-year-old girl, scared, alone, trusting, turned into a weapon by someone who knew exactly what she was doing. Vanessa, still held in place, let out a quiet laugh, barely audible, but Thor heard it. The dog whipped toward her, snarling, teeth bared, body trembling with fury. Ryan stepped between them. No, he growled. Not yet. He turned back to Lily. Her eyes were huge, wet, full of a guilt no child should ever feel. I didn't mean to be bad, she whispered. I didn't know. Ryan softened instantly. You didn't do anything wrong. You hear me? Not a damn thing. Someone lied to you. Someone used you. And we're going to stop them. Lily nodded weakly. Ryan closed the backpack carefully, sealing the nightmare inside. "Get this to cyber intelligence," he ordered. "Full lockdown. We've got a system breach using a miner as transport." Two agents rushed the bag out on a secure cart. Thor pressed against Ryan's leg, steady, tense. "Okay, buddy," Ryan whispered. "You were right. Someone's playing a game way bigger than us." Then he stood and looked directly at Vanessa. Because she wasn't the lady on the plane, but she damn well knew her, and the smile dying on her lips confirmed it. Because the second the sealed backpack disappeared down the hall with cyber intelligence, someone burst through the sliding doors at the end of Terminal B, running so fast she nearly skidded across the polished floor. A woman, dark red scrubs, winter coat half on, half falling off, hair a mess, face streaked with sweat and tears. She looked like she'd sprinted straight from a hospital shift and never stopped running. "Hannah! Hey, ma'am! You can't!" a TSA guard shouted behind her, but she wasn't listening. Not even a little. Her voice tore out of her like it had been caged for 48 hours. "Lily! Oh, God! Lily! Where's my baby?" Everyone jumped. Even Thor jerked his head. And Lily, tiny, trembling, exhausted, lifted her head. For a heartbeat, she didn't move, didn't speak, didn't breathe. Then realization hit her. "Mom? Mommy?" Hannah Mercer saw her, and the sound that came out of Hannah didn't even sound human. Half sob, half relief, half pain, like she'd been holding her breath for 2 days and her lungs collapsed and expanded all at once. "Oh my God! Lily!" She sprinted the last 10 feet, sliding to her knees, scooping Lily into her arms. The force of the hug knocked them both sideways, knees scraping tile, elbows hitting the floor. But they didn't care. They didn't even notice. They clung to each other like the world had tried to tear them apart and failed. Lily broke first, sobbing in huge, shaking gasps that tore through her tiny chest. "Mom, please, please don't let them take me. I don't want to go with the bad lady again." Hannah crushed her tighter, burying her face in Lily's hair. "Baby, I'm here. I'm right here. No one's taking you. Nobody is taking you from me again. Not ever." Her voice cracked, into pieces. Hands trembling so badly, she could barely hold Lily's cheeks. "Sweetheart, look at me," she whispered, brushing hair from Lily's forehead. "You're safe now. Mommy's here. I thought, oh God, I thought I lost you." Lily wrapped her tiny arms around her mother's neck, squeezing so tight it looked painful. "Don't let them take me," she begged. "Please don't let them take me." "Never," Hannah whispered fiercely. "Never again. I swear on my life." Passengers who had feared Lily minutes ago now wiped their eyes. A grown man near gate B14 sniffed and turned away. Even TSA agents, trained to stay stone-faced, blinked hard. Because this wasn't a reunion. This was salvation. A mother who spent 2 nights pacing police stations, filing missing child reports, no one believed at first. Finally holding the child everyone swore had wandered off. Hannah cupped Lily's cheeks, scanning her face like she needed proof this wasn't a dream. "Baby, what did they do to you?" she whispered. Lily shook her head, tears streaming. "I got scared, and the lady said Mommy said it was okay. But it wasn't you. It wasn't you, Mom." Hannah shut her eyes, like the words physically hurt. "Oh God, sweet girl." She kissed Lily's forehead, rocking her like she was newborn. Ryan stepped back, giving them space, something twisting deep in his chest. Thor pressed against his leg, ears low, watching with that strange, sad understanding only dogs seem to have. Hannah lifted her head, staring at Ryan through fear and fury and heartbreak. "Officer," she rasped. Who took my baby? Who touched her? Who lied to her?" Her gaze flicked instantly toward Vanessa, like her heart already knew the answer. Vanessa stood between two agents, face blank, emotionless, cold. "What did she tell my daughter?" Hannah demanded. Ryan didn't sugarcoat anything. "She said she was your friend," he said quietly. "And she used your daughter to transport highly illegal surveillance hardware into a federal airport." Hannah covered Lily's ears, chest shaking. "Why? Why her?" Lily answered first. Because she said I was small, and nobody looks at small kids." Hannah's face shattered with pain, violent physical pain. She pulled Lily close again. "No more," she whispered. "No more trusting strangers. No more being used. No more." The crowd watched, silent, shaken. Because this wasn't just a mother finding her child. This was a mother discovering exactly what the world was capable of. And it broke her. But she held her daughter anyway. Because that's what mothers do, even when the world tries to tear them in half. For a long second after Hannah and Lily clung to each other on that cold airport floor, it felt like the entire world had stopped spinning. Like maybe, just maybe, the worst was over. Yeah. No. Not even close. Because right when Ryan signaled for EMTs to check Lily's vitals, Thor lifted his head, slowly at first, then sharply, like a switch flipped inside him. He sniffed the air once, twice, then his whole body stiffened. "Thor?" Ryan said, already bracing, because he recognized that posture now. "Buddy, what is it? Talk to me." Thor didn't bark, didn't growl, didn't whine. He pulled hard. "Whoa! Hey!" Ryan staggered forward as Thor lunged, dragging him across the terminal with a strength no one expected from a 90-pound dog. "Officer, where's he going?" someone shouted. Ryan didn't look back. "Wherever the hell the danger is." Thor sprinted toward the baggage transfer zone, the massive conveyor maze behind the glass walls, where suitcases vanished into the airport's underbelly. TSA agents shouted into radios, "Open B secure now! K9 inbound!" The door buzzed open. Thor shot through like a bullet. Conveyor belts roared, suitcases thundered, duffels tumbled, The whole system clattered like a mechanical beast waking up angry. "Thor, slow down! Damn it, Thor!" But he didn't slow. Not for a second. His nose traced the metal edges, tail straight back, paws drumming against the moving belt. "Can someone shut this thing down?" Ryan yelled. "Negative. Flights are grounding. Every belt has to stay active." Thor didn't care. Thor was working. He sniffed a roller bag. Nothing. A duffel. Nothing. A hardshell suitcase. He paused. Ears flicked. Then moved on. Then bark! A sharp, chest-deep alert. Ryan nearly slipped trying to reach him. "You got something? Show me!" Thor jammed his nose into a navy suitcase with a peeling sticker. His body vibrated. 3 quick barks. The detection pattern. "Pull it!" Ryan ordered. Agents yanked the suitcase onto the table. Thor left it instantly, because he smelled something else. "Wait, another one?" Ryan's heart hammered. Thor leaped across 2 moving conveyors, actually jumped them, landing hard on the next belt. "Jesus, somebody get eyes on that dog." Thor knew exactly where he was going. He pressed his muzzle against a forest green backpack, whined, barked twice. Second alert. 2 bags. 2 planes that could have gone blind mid-flight. 2 disasters stopped before they ever started. "Get it off the belt!" Ryan shouted. The conveyor jerked to an emergency stop. But Thor wasn't done. Not even close. He bolted down the walkway, claws clacking like rapid fire. "Thor, slow down, I can't." But Thor didn't wait for human limitations. He jumped onto the lowest belt, the one feeding luggage into Gate C-29's loading tunnel, a flight leaving in 7 minutes. "Shut that gate down now!" Ryan yelled into the radio. "Passengers are already boarding. Stop the damn plane!" Before anyone could argue, Thor made the decision for them. He dove into a cluster of suitcases, tearing through tags, nudging bags aside, until he froze, body rigid, neck straight, ears locked. Then the growl. Not warning, not fear. Level moderate, confirmation. "Oh God, bag tag, S-13. Someone grab it." 3 officers jumped on the belt and hauled the suitcase free. Ryan grabbed Thor's harness, chest heaving. "Is that all? Tell me that's all." Thor didn't confirm. He spun, bolting toward the last conveyor. International outbound. "No. Please tell me there's not more." Ryan sprinted after him, but Thor didn't stop. Red suitcase. Gray duffel. Small floral roller bag that looked harmless as hell. 4 bags total. 4 planes saved. 4 disasters erased. And Thor. Thor stood panting in the center of the conveyor maze, chest heaving, eyes burning with instinct. Ryan knelt beside him, gripping his harness with trembling hands. "You did it, buddy," he whispered, forehead pressed to Thor's. "You just saved more people than any of us ever could." Thor barked once, soft but certain, proud, relieved, aware this was only the beginning. "So let me ask you straight. If you were standing in that baggage maze, watching Thor leap across belts like some guardian angel in fur. What would you think in that moment? This dog's a freaking hero. I'd follow him anywhere. How did he even know? Or A, this gave me chills. No joke. After Thor dragged Ryan through that baggage maze like a four-legged missile and uncovered 4 bags that could have taken down half the airport, you'd think, you'd hope, things would finally cool for a second. Yeah, not even close. Because just as agents were hauling the compromised bags toward cyber intelligence, a loud beep echoed from one of the security monitors. Then another. Then a rapid series of pings like an alarm that didn't know which direction to freak out first. Officer Hale, a TSA tech called out, eyes widening at the screen. You're gonna want to see this. Ryan jogged over, wiping sweat from his forehead. What now? The tech pointed. There, on the monitor, walking past gate C31 with a clipboard tucked under her arm, wearing a reflective vest and ID badge, was a woman with long black hair, flower-sweet perfume, steady stride, calm as still water. Ryan's chest tightened. Is that? Yep, the tech muttered. That's her. The orchid, the ghost, the cyber smuggler with a dozen aliases, the woman who planted the chips, the woman who sat next to Lily on the plane. She wasn't hiding. She was working. Out in the open. Like she belonged there. Thor let out a sharp, guttural bark the moment he saw her face on the screen. Oh no, Ryan whispered. Don't tell me. Before he even finished the sentence, Thor took off. Thor! Ryan sprinted after him. The K-9 launched through the restricted service door like he'd been fired from a cannon. Agents dove aside, shouting, Where's he going? Stop that woman! She's armed. She has to be armed. But the orchid didn't run like someone panicking. No, she walked fast, then faster, then casually tossed her clipboard onto a cart, unzipped her vest, slipped it off like a snake shedding skin, and then she ran. Oh, hell no, Ryan muttered, pushing harder. Thor's claws screeched against the tile as he cornered into a long maintenance hallway. Dim lights, cement walls, humming pipes overhead. The orchid glanced back once, eyes narrowed. Then she threw something. A black cylinder. You've got to be kidding! Move! The cylinder detonated with a muffled pop. Smoke. Thick. Burning. Clouds swallowing everything. Ryan, you good? Someone shouted behind him. Keep back! He yelled. Thor, get her! Go! Through the smoke, Thor didn't slow, didn't cough, didn't flinch. He plunged into the haze like he was carved from granite. Ryan covered his mouth, stumbling through the fog, eyes burning, lungs screaming, lights flickering overhead like a broken heartbeat. Then, footsteps, fast, echoing, running deeper. He followed the sound. Thor's growl bounced off concrete, low, territorial, furious. There, Ryan gasped, sprinting again. The smoke thinned just enough to see the orchid ripping off her airport ID and tossing it aside. She reached a locked steel door. Emergency staff only, punched in a code so fast it barely existed. The door beeped. She slipped through. Thor slammed into it. Ryan hit the panel. Locked. Override C maintenance door 7. Now. Static. Working on it. 3 seconds. 3. Impossible. Long. Click. Ryan ripped the door open. He and Thor stormed inside. Now they were in the outer cargo tunnels, a maze of vents, panels, carts, and echoing steel, perfect place to disappear. The Orchid didn't disappear. She sprinted across a catwalk, boots slamming metal so hard sparks flicked beneath her. Time 800 mms. She shoved through hanging plastic sheets, dividing storage zones like curtains. Thor launched after her, jaws snapping, barking so hard it rattled the beams overhead. Ryan pushed himself harder. "Stop!" he yelled. Useless, and he knew it. She looked back. Their eyes met. No fear, no guilt, no panic. Just cold, calculating certainty, like she wanted to be chased. Then she ducked into another tunnel. "Not happening," Ryan growled, pushing harder. Thor gained on her. 5 feet. 4. 3. But the Orchid reached the end, grabbed a handrail, and swung herself down onto a moving luggage cart below, like she'd practiced it 100 times. The cart zoomed across the lower level, dragging her into the airport's underbelly. "Thor, track!" Ryan roared. Thor didn't need the command. He leapt off the catwalk, straight into the shadows after her, and Ryan dove right behind him. The chase wasn't just on. It was war. If Thor chasing the Orchid through the cargo tunnels felt like a full-blown battlefield, then what came next? Yeah, this was the kind of moment that makes people stand up in a movie theater. Except, this wasn't a movie. This was real. Too real. Because the Orchid wasn't done buying herself time. Not even close. The second Thor leapt off the catwalk after her. She reached into her pocket, pulled out a small metal canister, sleek, black, deadly, and slammed her thumb on the trigger. PF, boom. Thick white smoke exploded outward, swallowing the corridor in seconds. Dirt, dust, burnt metal. All of it hit Ryan's face like a punch. "Damn it!" Ryan coughed. "Thor, stay on her. Don't lose her." Thor didn't care about the smoke, didn't flinch, didn't break stride. He plunged forward like he'd trained in the fire pits of hell. The Orchid shoved her shoulder into a massive steel container, one of those industrial rolling crates built to hold half a ton of cargo. It screeched across the concrete, sparks spitting from beneath it. Then she pushed harder. The crate toppled hard. A metal wall came crashing down in front of Thor like a guillotine made of steel. "No! Thor, move!" Ryan screamed. But Thor wasn't stopping. He didn't slow, didn't hesitate, didn't think. He jumped. The falling steel slammed behind him, missing his hind legs by maybe half an inch. The sound shook the entire tunnel, metal crashing hard enough to rattle Ryan's teeth. For a second, Ryan saw nothing. Just smoke, noise, his heartbeat punching through his ribs. "Thor!" he shouted. "Thor, talk to me!" Then, through the thick white haze, a flash of dark fur, a growl so deep it vibrated the ground. Thor was still moving, still locked on, still hunting. Ryan sprinted toward the sounds, scuffling, frantic footsteps, sharp scrapes of boots on concrete. The orchid tried to vanish into the smoke, weaving between cargo lifts and coolant pipes, hoping the haze would bury her trail. It didn't. Thor erupted from the smoke like a missile made of muscle and instinct. He didn't bark, didn't warn, didn't hesitate. He launched straight into her. The orchid screamed, raw, furious, as Thor hit her center mass and slammed her onto the concrete. Ryan rounded the corner just as their bodies collided, smoke swirling behind them like white fire. "Thor, hold!" Ryan shouted. But Thor already had her pinned. One paw on her shoulder, one on her chest. Teeth bared inches from her face, eyes blazing with cold precision. She swung at him. Huge mistake. Thor growled, deep, thunder low, pushing her arm back down with the weight of a truck. "I said, get off!" she shrieked, thrashing. She wasn't going anywhere. Ryan rushed in, cuffs out. "Don't move," he said, voice cold steel. "Don't even breathe wrong." The orchid glared up at him, fury shaking her frame. "You don't understand anything," she spat. "This is bigger than all of you." Ryan didn't blink. "Lady, I don't care if you're bigger than the damn Pentagon. You're done." Thor pressed harder, pinning her arm so Ryan could cuff her. Click, click, locked. The orchid twisted, then let out a bitter laugh. "You think this stops anything?" Ryan leaned closer. "No. But it stops you." Thor growled low. Agreement. The orchid's mask cracked. Fear slipped through. "That dog," she whispered. "He shouldn't be alive after what I dropped on him." Ryan scratched Thor's ear. "Yeah, well, he's built different." Two TSA tactical officers stormed in, weapons drawn. "We heard the crash. Everyone okay?" Ryan nodded toward the ground. "We got her." Thor finally stepped back, panting, exhausted, but eyes still locked on the prisoner like he'd leap again if she even blinked wrong. And when the smoke thinned, when the light steadied, when the echo of collapsing metal finally died, there it was. A scene burned into every witness's memory. Thor standing over the orchid, the most dangerous cyber criminal in the hemisphere, victorious, fierce, unstoppable. Ryan exhaled, ribs aching. "Good boy," he whispered. "You did it." Thor wagged his tail once, just once, as if to say, "Of course I did. What took you so long?" After the smoke cleared and the orchid was hauled out of the cargo tunnel in cuffs, there was this strange stillness hanging over Denver International, like the whole airport was holding its breath, trying to understand what almost happened and what would have happened if Thor hadn't been there. Over the next 48 hours, the story spread like wildfire. Police dog stops cyber attack. K9 saves hundreds. 6-year-old nearly used in airport breach. People whispered it in cafes. News anchors spoke in voices way too calm for what almost became a national disaster. Parents hugged their kids tighter. And every single agency, TSA, Homeland Security, Cyber Intelligence, even the FAA, wanted a piece of the story. But Thor didn't care. He slept curled beside Ryan's couch, paws twitching like he was still chasing the orchid through the tunnels. Every now and then he'd let out a little huff, like he was annoyed he didn't get to finish the job. Then came the court hearing, and nobody expected it to be as emotional as it was. The Colorado District Courthouse was packed. Reporters, officers, families, cyber techs, airport workers from that day. The judge had to ask the room 3 times to quiet down. When Thor walked in beside Ryan, vest polished, badge gleaming, tail low but proud, everyone stood. Not politely, not because they were told to, but because they wanted to. Ryan leaned down. "Buddy, I think they like you." Thor didn't wag his tail. He just stared forward, a soldier reporting for duty. Judge Williamson adjusted her glasses, glanced at the thick stack of evidence, then looked directly at Thor. "This," she began, "is not a standard proceeding, and I think everyone in this room knows that." A soft ripple moved through the crowd. On December 18th, at Denver International Airport, a coordinated attempt to breach the FAA radar system using illicit microchips was intercepted. People shifted in their seats. Ryan rested a steady hand on Thor's back. "Had this breach succeeded," the judge continued, "it would have caused catastrophic failures across multiple air routes." Silence fell, heavy, uncomfortable. And the individual who prevented this disaster was not an analyst, not an agent, not an officer, not even a human. The room froze. "K9 Thor," she said, eyes landing on the dog, "recognized the threat before any detection software, before any trained personnel, before any adult in that terminal. This dog saved hundreds, possibly thousands, of lives." A sniff came from the back row. Thor didn't understand the words, but he understood the tone. He lifted his head, proud, alert, listening. Judge Williamson turned the verdict document. Her voice echoed. "This court formally recognizes K9 Thor for extraordinary bravery, service beyond the call of duty, and the prevention of the most significant cyber attack in Denver airport history." People rose again. Applause roaring so loud it shook the walls. Ryan knelt beside Thor. "You earned that, buddy." Thor blinked slowly, leaning into his shoulder. Then, the softest voice in the courtroom. Can I hug him?" Everyone turned. Hannah Mercer stood at the aisle, hands trembling, tears streaming. Lily clung to her sleeve. The judge nodded. "Of course." Ryan stepped aside, and Hannah, a mother who had lived through hell fell to her knees in front of the dog who brought her daughter home. She didn't hug him gently, not polite, not careful. She wrapped both arms around Thor's neck like she needed him to keep her from collapsing. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for bringing my baby back. Thank you for giving her back to me. I thought I lost her forever." Thor stayed completely still. Then, very slowly, he leaned his head against her shoulder. A deep, grounding pressure. A promise. Lily stepped forward. "Hi, Thor," she whispered. "I'm sorry I was scared of you." Thor lifted his head. One ear perked, one sideways. Then he nudged Lily's hand, gently. Half the courtroom cried. Lily smiled, small, shaky, real. "Thank you for finding me." Ryan blinked fast, trying not to lose it. The Orchid's trial would come later. The cyber ring would be dismantled. But this moment, this verdict, this gratitude, it was bigger than justice. It was human, pure, genuine. For a dog who didn't just follow orders. He followed instinct. He followed heart. He followed truth. And because of that, a little girl was alive. A mother was whole again. An airport was saved. A catastrophe never happened. All because of one dog. Canine Thor. If the courtroom felt like a storm finally breaking, then the morning after, yeah, it was the kind of quiet you only get after surviving something you shouldn't have survived. Ryan barely slept. Thor didn't either. Not from stress, but because every time Ryan shifted, the dog shuffled closer, like he was making sure the world didn't disappear overnight. By 5:30 a.m., the sky over Denver was just starting to tint pink. The air had that cold, biting edge, the kind that makes everything feel sharper, cleaner. Ryan slipped on his jacket, grabbed Thor's vest, and whispered, "Come on, buddy. Let's get some air." Thor stood immediately, tail giving one slow wag like, "Yeah, let's go see the world while it's quiet." They stepped onto the service path behind Terminal C, where the runway stretched forever, glowing under the soft wash of the morning lights. Planes sat like sleeping giants, steam rising off their wings as the engines warmed for the day. And the sunrise. God, the sunrise was unreal, golden, wide open, the kind of morning that feels like a clean slate. Ryan inhaled slowly. "You know," he murmured, "I don't think I've ever been this grateful to just breathe." Thor looked up at him. Those calm, steady eyes. The same eyes that burned with instinct 2 days ago. Now they were soft, warm, grounded. They walked in silence, boots crunching on gravel, paws padding beside him, replaying everything without needing a single word. Then, "Ryan, wait!" He turned. Lily Mercer was running toward them. Tiny legs pumping, hair blazing copper in the sunrise. Hannah followed behind, breath fogging in the icy air. Hey, hey, careful! Ryan knelt, ready to catch her. But Lily didn't leap into his arms. She went straight to Thor. Thor perked up, ears forward, tail sweeping the cold ground in a single, gentle arc. Hi, Thor, she whispered. She wrapped her arms around his neck. No fear this time. No hesitation. Just trust. Hannah caught up, rubbing her hands together for warmth. She wanted to say goodbye, she said softly. She didn't stop talking about him all night. Lily reached into her pocket. A strip of purple fabric, frayed, torn from the ruins of her old backpack. I saved this, she said quietly, because it didn't feel right throwing the whole thing away, and I wanted Thor to have something from it, something good. She tied the purple strip around Thor's collar, right beside his badge. Thor didn't move, didn't flinch. He just let her. Eyes soft, posture still. It looks good on him, Ryan said with a warm smile, like it was meant to be there. Lily nodded, wiping her nose. It's so he remembers me. Hannah whispered, Sweetheart, I don't think that dog could ever forget you. Ryan scratched behind Thor's ears, and I don't think he's the only one. Lily leaned her forehead against Thor's. Thank you, she whispered, for finding me, for being brave. Thor responded the way he always did, quiet, patient, with a tiny, almost invisible wag. Hannah knelt beside them. Officer Hale, her voice trembled. Thank you for saving my daughter, and for trusting your partner when most people would have panicked. Ryan shook his head. No need to thank me, I just followed Thor. Hannah smiled sadly. He followed his heart, and you followed him. That's what saved her. Ryan looked down at Thor, the dog sitting against his leg, purple ribbon fluttering gently in the morning breeze. You know, Ryan whispered, voice cracking, you didn't just save people, buddy. You saved something in me I thought was gone. Thor closed his eyes and leaned into Ryan's hand. Warm, grounding, healing. Then the sun broke fully over the Rockies, bathing the runway in gold. Workers returned. Planes rolled. Life moved. But the four of them stood in that golden light, like time paused just long enough to let their hearts catch up. Hannah finally whispered, We should get going. Lily looked at Thor one last time. Bye, Thor. Don't forget me, okay? Thor barked once, soft, certain. Lily smiled through tears. I knew you'd say that. Hannah squeezed Ryan's arm. Take care of him. He's not just a dog. Ryan nodded. Yeah, I know. As mother and daughter disappeared into the terminal's glow, Ryan looked down at his partner. Thor looked back. In that quiet, golden moment, Ryan whispered, You saved everyone else, pal, but you saved the best part of me too. Thor nudged his leg, and the two of them turned toward the rising sun, man and dog, walking side by side, stepping into a new day they never expected to see. Before we wrap this, if you were there, watching that sunrise with them, what would you have felt first? Hope, relief, gratitude, or, man, this just hit different?